What's good, everybody? It's UturnCrobat here, turning into you with week 6 of the NPCC. But before we get into anything, guys, please make sure you leave a like on this video. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see all the great, amazing NPCC battles. And so, alright, so guys, this week was kind of difficult for us to prep because we're going up against Pichu Brothers. His link and everything, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, will be down in the description, so make sure you go show him some love. And so, like I was beginning to say, he has a lot of threats on his team. He has that Thunderous, and this is the second week in a row that we are battling a Thunderous, and it's kind of annoying. And he has Lucario, so it's just kind of pesky to kind of team build when you have all these threats surfacing and all these threats just being a problem. Now, our team consists of a Choice Banded Entei with Sacred Fire, E-Speed, Flare Blitz. Now, for the fourth move, we didn't really... The only moves we actually truly needed were E-Speed and Sacred Fire to TBH. And so, we didn't really need a fourth move, but we did pack Rain Dance on Entei just for the fourth move, just in case we needed Azumarill to have more power for those water type moves. We wanted to pack Rain Dance just in case, but we are adamant. So with that choice band, I mean, well, obviously we're adamant if we're E-Speed, but I mean, adamant does help in this situation. Next up, we have Azumarill, who is also choice banded. Huge power, play rough, knockoff, Aqua Jet, Waterfall. Nobody on our opponent's team really wants to take a, well, we're Jolly, but no one on our opponent's team wants to take a choice banded play rough, or even a Waterfall at that. So looking at those two moves, those are the two moves that we really wanted to try and hit the most of. Now, we are bringing Shaman, a Leftovers, Natural Cure, Calm, Shaman. Azumarill was Jolly, by the way, but we're bringing Shaman. Synthesis, Toxic, Earth Power, and HP Ice, because if the Thunderous wanted to shoot off an HP whatever, or even a Sludge Bomb whatever, then we can hit the HP Ice on the thing and hopefully take it out. Next up, we have Uxie, who has Stealth Rock, Psychic, Thunder Wave, and U-Turn. We have Leftovers, and we're Bold. Now, the reason why we have Thunder Wave is in case we do go up against a Lucario who is setting up and who is becoming a huge problem, so we want to lower its speed drastically. So we have T-Wave for that reason, Stealth Rock for obvious reasons, Kyurem is next, Choppleberry with Ice Beam, Earth Power, Dragon Claw, Roost, Timid. And the reason why we have Choppleberry is because if we're predicting Thunderous to use Focus Blast or just really anything, or if Lucario is in the way and we're predicting like a close combat or some shit, then the Choppleberry will pop, and we can hit off a powerful Ice Beam on the Thunderous or an Earth Power on the Lucario. So we kind of wanted to play it safe and have the Choppleberry just in case shit like that happens. Now, next up in our last mon is Tentacruel, Assault Vest, Rapid Spin, Scald, Sludge Bomb, Bold. I left out the last move because I wanted to be a surprise. The last move we have is a Mirror Coat, simply because if a Tentacruel gets hit, if it has good enough HP, it left, and if it gets hit with a T-Bolt, then we'll live, and we can shoot off a powerful Mirror Coat. No one on his team wants to take a Mirror Coat at all, so I mean, we packed that just for that reason, and I feel like it's a good reason. So our opponent is bringing Guzma, the Necrozma, the Mr. Comatose there, the, oh my god, I was gonna say Drapion, the Goodra, the Thunderous, and the Lucario. Like I was mentioning, Thunderous and Lucario are huge threats. So we're just gonna get into this battle. Hopefully you guys can kind of see how this battle went if you're not already clicked out of the video. Shame on you if you are. But if you're not, then welcome. This is the battle. This is week 6 of the NPCC. So I hope you enjoy. So looking at his team, I wasn't really sure who he was going to lead off with. I wanted to lead off with Shaman, just because I wanted to either get a Toxic off on somebody, or just, I really wanted to scout. The first turn in any battle is kind of a problem. So this thing is part bug. I obviously don't want to take a first impression or a leech life or anything if I stayed in with Shaman, so I'm going to switch out into Tentacruel. And as you saw, that freaking first impression, Life Orb first impression, did a hell of a amount to Tentacruel, so I don't really want to take any more first impressions or leech lives or really anything at that. But I'm going to be Sludge Bombing because, one, I wanted to get some damage off on the Guzma, I forget its name, whatever, Guzma. And so if I were able to get the Sludge Bomb, then I could potentially get the poison. That would have been nice, but obviously I can't poison Mr. Comatose over here. But we were able to get some damage, and that's a plus. Any damage is good damage, I feel. I'm going out into Hall of Pain, the Azumarill, because this Mr. Comatose can't touch Azumarill at all. I did check to see what moves Mr. Comatose does get, and he can't touch Azumarill for the life of him. So I felt safe going out into Azumarill right there. And if he wanted to switch, no one on his team wanted to get hit with a Choice Banded knockoff. And as you saw, that did a hell of a lot of damage. I at first was thinking it was going to take him out from that range, but it didn't, and he gets off a Toxic, which is a problem, but at this point it doesn't really matter. One, he gets the Wish, which it is kind of annoying, but at the same time, I don't want to stay in longer than I have to, because I saw Wish, so at this point in time, he can easily just protect, Wish, do those shenanigans. I'm switching out. I don't want the Toxic to rack up. I'm going out into Entei, because one, he can't really do too much to Entei at all, and from that range, I feel really, really good about hitting a Sacred Fire, because I know an Adamant Choice Banded Sacred Fire can easily take out Mr. What was I calling him? Mr. Comatose from this range. And I felt perfectly fine doing that, and luckily my luck paid off because I was able to take him out. He is going into Dean, the Thunderous, which is a problem because none of my Pokemon really want to take any attacks from this freaking Thunderous. I'm going into Shaman because I know I can take a Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, really whatever this fucking thing wants to do. He is going to Z Power up here, unfortunately. I wasn't really sure what Z Power it was, but he does. I was assuming he was either going to have Volt Switch or Thunderbolt. And looking at the Z Power, the Gigavolt Havoc, he either has to have Volt Switch or Thunderbolt for obvious reasons because, well, this is Gigavolt Havoc. So, luckily, this thing, well, first of all, normally, under normal circumstances, that wouldn't have done too much. But unfortunately, he gets a freaking crit. Now, normally I would be able to live that and fire back with some heavy damage. Unfortunately, he's going to go for the HP Flying, which I was assuming, because you're going to see here, it will say super effective. It could have been fire, could have been ice, could have been flying. I'm just assuming it is HP Flying on this fucker. And that's kind of annoying because now Shaman is down, and we kind of needed Shaman simply to eat up some hits and fire back with some chip damage. I'm going into Johnny Christ because I know that I'm going to be outspeeding, and I know this because we did pack the EVs and some speed depending on the nature of Thunderous. So he's going to go into Necrozma. I'm going to fire off with a freaking Ice Beam because one, well, I have a Thunderous in front of me. I'm not going to not go for Ice Beam. Necrozma can somewhat eat up that Ice Beam fairly well, not too well. He's going to double out, thinking that I am Scarfed. I am going to, in fact, go for another Ice Beam. It is what it is. Unfortunately, it's not going to do too much to Guzma at all. Gliscopod, I just barely thought of its name. But obviously, it's not going to do too much to Gliscopod. I'm switching out because I don't want any damage on Johnny Christ at all. I really need the amount of HP that I have. I need to kind of savor that. He's going to go for a Leech Life, which is, at this point, it's annoying. It's annoying because he's gaining HP back, and this thing is a freaking threat to our team. He has a Life Orb, he has a freaking Leech Life, First Impression, most likely Aqua Jet, and it's just becoming a big problem to our team. As you can see, the poison is racking up, and all the damage that Hall of Pain is taking is not good at all. Luckily, I was able to hit that first Play Rough, and he is going to be getting his emergency exit off, which is a great ability on Gliscopod there. But unfortunately, he's going to go into a Thunderous, which is rather annoying because, well, Thunderous can really do a lot of damage to my team. He is modest. I believe he was modest when I asked him after the battle. So a modest Thunderous running rampant on your fucking team is not good at all. But I figured he was going to be going for a Thunderbolt. So I'm going to go into Johnny Christ because with the EVs that we do have, I mean, Kyurem can easily eat up a Thunderbolt anyways, at least fairly well. So I know that I'm going to outspeed, and I'm going to fire off the Ice Beam. Take out that Thunderous, which, one, is freaking amazing because, well, I'm fucking glad that we're able to take out that threat. This is another threat right here. He thought we were Scarfed, and simply put, he went out into his Lucario thinking he was going to take an Ice Beam and we were just going to switch out, whatever, and we're not Scarfed at all. But with our EVs, we can easily outspeed that Lucario and shoot off a powerful Earth Power, take him out! Thank fuck we're able to take out those huge threats because now our team is looking even better without those threats on the other side. But a new threat arises. This is a Necrozma, and if you don't know what Necrozma does, this thing can set up Calm Minds, this thing can rest, this thing can iron defense, so it's really a problem when you go up against a Necrozma. I'm going into Uxie, because as soon as I saw rest, I was like, fuck this. I literally need to U-turn out right now, because if this thing wants to set up on me, then I'm toast. I don't have any more chances of winning this battle at all. I'm going to go ahead and U-turn out, because I was getting very scared that this thing was going to Calm Mind, this thing was going to iron defense, this thing was going to really do anything. This thing was already physically defensive, looking at the past damage that I did put on Necrozma. This thing's going to Calm Mind. One, it's fine, it's going to Calm Mind in front of Entei. Entei is a physical attacker, not special. But I mean, it is raising its special attack, which it is a problem. But because it's not raising its special, because it's not raising its physical, if I can talk, its physical attack, this Flare Blitz is going to do a hell of a lot of damage, as you saw right there. And luckily, it's not going to be able to take another one. At +1, we can easily take this Psyshock. If it was a Psychic, I feel like it would have done maybe a little bit more. I'm not really sure, though. But anyways, we're going to head off another Flare Blitz. Take out this fucking annoying, threatening Necrozma. Like, I don't fucking care. This thing was setting up on me. If that thing were to go for an iron defense instead of Calm Mind, then maybe things would have happened differently. Who knows? But I mean, he is obviously going to go into either Gudra or Gliscopod. He's going into Gliscopod because he really wants to get that first impression off. I was assuming. I wasn't really sure if he is going to go for first impression, because I think first impression is like fake out. I could be totally wrong. I don't go up against Gliscopod, so inform me if I am wrong. I really have no idea. But we didn't really need Uxie at this point, so I felt safe just sacking Uxie off. If Uxie was going to go down, fine. If it was going to live, then I was going to get up my late game rocks, as you're going to see momentarily, because I figured with the rocks, we can easily get chip damage on a Crossman, we can get some chip damage on the Screwdra. If he, in fact, wanted to keep switching out like he was going to do right here, I'm going to be kind of, I'm just going to tell him, fuck you. I don't know. With these rocks here. So luckily I held those rocks up, and he could easily just take my Uxie out. I have the rocks up. At this point, I don't really care sacking Uxie, simply because it did what it wanted to do. This whole season, Uxie hasn't really done a lot in our battles, but at the same time, the small amount of things it has done really do matter, whether it being screen setting, or shooting those rocks, or just chip damage, you know? Chip damage. Chip damage is good damage. I don't care what you say. Uxie goes down. It's fine by me. It did what it needed to do. Uxie, I'm proud of you. Thank you for doing what you needed to do. You're a champ. Hall of Pain is going to come out. The Azumarill, the choice banded, yet poisoned Azumarill. At this point, I didn't really care. I really was thinking in my mind, I don't really want to be playing around with fucking play roughnesses. And what do you know? I opened my mouth, and we fucking missed the play rough. And at that point, I was like, fuck me. Like, seriously, of course I have to miss play rough. Around the most important time, I really needed to hit one. Luckily, though, we're able to live the poison. And even though it has that much HP, it's not going to really take any attacks any of my other mons really want to do. So, allowing Azumarill to go down right there, I hated it because it was Azumarill, you know, it was a fucking choice banded Azumarill. I could have done more with it, but I didn't mind sacking it off because I can easily go into Johnny Christ, a Cure in Black, because I do know that I can outspeed the Gliscopod. I do know that I can outspeed the Gudra now. So even though we sacked Azumarill off, I do feel fine picking up the win with Cure in Black right now. I didn't really care if I went for an Ice Beam or really Dragon Claw or just any special attack. I felt a little bit safer going for a Dragon Claw than an Ice Beam, because from that range, Gliscopod very well could have lived an Ice Beam. I didn't really want to play around with that at all. Luckily, with those rocks up, we're able to KO his last mon, the Gudra, because without the rocks, the Gudra may have lived. Maybe on like 3. I don't even know. But that was an interesting... Okay, I keep saying interesting. Fuck me, I'm not going to say interesting anymore. That was kind of a scary battle because of Lucario, because of Thundurus, because of Necrozma setting up. I didn't really mind battling, well, Mr. Comatose over there. He didn't do much. But, I mean, it was a fun battle nonetheless. I don't ever go up against Mr. Comatose. I don't ever go up against Gallipods, so it was fun just kind of seeing how much damage a Gallipod can do. It was fun seeing how Mr. Comatose can't do anything. I've been drinking. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. I tried explaining to the best of my ability. If you guys had already punched out at like a minute, 2 minutes in, then whatever. You missed my great commentary through the battle, so fuck you. But no, I'm just kidding. But anyways, I mean, if Pichu, if you're watching the battle, I did have fun. I really did. It was a great time. And I'm just gonna tell you, Pichu, and I'm gonna tell everyone, Australia is a bitch. It is. It's a bitch to try and plan a battle around with like fucking time zone shit like that. But I love you, Pichu. You're a great sport. And all the other Australians in the league, they're great sports. I don't even know how many we have. I'm going off topic. Anyways, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. But I hope all of you have a great day, and I'll catch all of you all on the flip side.